All right, welcome to the deep dive. Today we're tackling something pretty complex. It's a system called the Pramod effect, or PME.
And it all comes from a single, really dense source. Dr. Pramod Ambadasrao Pawar's poetry collection, I Walk on Flying Stars.
So our mission really is to see if we can extract the functional logic from it, to map it out.
And the preface immediately tells us how we have to approach this. It says the work doesn't try to explain the world.
Right, it wants to stand within it.
Exactly. So we can't look at it in a straight line. The poems circle, return, and reemerge.
Which means that when a phrase is repeated, it's not just the same thing again. He calls it, what was it?
Not recurrence, but resonance. It's a crucial distinction. Every time a phrase returns, it's got a new layer of meaning from the context it's now in.
Okay, so with that in mind, let's get into the elemental conditions, the foundation. Where does this system begin?
It begins with silence. The core declaration is silence I am.
And that appears a lot, right? Something like 78 times.
78 times. And it's a silence that's beyond the physical. The self says, I am not the body, and I am not the mind.
But then almost immediately there's a counterbalance to this silence.
This is what's so striking. The phrase identity is ubiquitous appears 77 times, almost the exact same number.
Wow. So from the get-go, you have this deep, quiet self that is also somehow everywhere at once.
It's the central paradox.
Yeah.
And this ubiquitous identity isn't just passive, it claims everything. We get phrases like, all presence is mine and all absence is mine.
He even says, I'm the universe.
And I'm the absolute. It's a total claim of coextensiveness with reality itself.
So if that's our starting point, this silent, absolute, eternal self, it raises a big question about time, doesn't it?
It's the next big tension in the system. Because on one hand, we see time is eternal pop up 70 times.
But on the other hand, you have just fluxes of time appearing 71 times. So the change, the flux, just barely wins out.
And that slight imbalance is everything. It's the why. Because if things were just eternal, why would you need to do anything?
Ah, right. But the text says, time defeats beauty. So the flux, the transience, it creates a problem.
A problem that demands a solution. And that solution is action. This is what kicks off the ethical engine of the PME.
The action redemption cycle. So it's not a choice, it's a mandate. I am born for action.
And the causality is perfectly linear. Action begets redemption. Simple as that.
But is redemption the end?
Not at all. And that's the perpetual motion part. The text also states, sufferings beget sufferings. So even after you achieve redemption, the state of flux creates new problems. You constantly have to act.
It's a dynamic system, not a static one. And the gesture of that movement is captured in that title phrase.
I Walk on Flying Stars. It appears 19 times. It's the image of active transcendence, of moving with this cosmic flow.
Okay, so to handle all this complexity, this movement and ethical engagement, the system needs new conceptual tools.
Yes, and this is where he introduces 101 newly coined titles, words like grav silence or obsolescence.
And these words are acting like bridges, right? Fusing ideas that we normally think of as separate.
You've got it. Grav silence fuses the material force of gravity with the metaphysical state of silence. It's a way of affirming non-dualistic relation.
So this is how the philosophy moves from that solitary inward self.
Outward toward a wider ethical horizon, a shared becoming.
And it all culminates in the very last poem, Poem 101, which is just titled Coexistence.
Right. It brings everything together. It asserts that this isn't a solo journey, that all walk along a way to God, and that redemption is the final door for everyone.
So if we were to give a final definition, the Pramod effect is this realization of a ubiquitous identity that exists inside constant flux.
And it's driven forward by this unending cycle of action and redemption, all leading toward this state of non-dualistic relation or coexistence.
But there's a final piece here, isn't there? A kind of challenge for anyone engaging with this.
There is. And it's maybe the most important part for you, the listener. The source states the poems are open, incomplete by design.
They require the reader's presence to become whole.
Which means the PME isn't a concept you can just read about and understand.
It's not passive.
No, it's a state of being that you can only achieve through your own active, sustained intellectual and ethical engagement. The work essentially is left for you to complete.